I'd like to take a moment to thank my channel members. Thank you. It's continued support like yours that keeps this channel growing. And if you haven't already, please consider joining today. Hello and welcome, I'm Bert the Stormtrooper, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Transformers Legacy Velocitron Speedia 500 Collection Override. And I'm really excited about this figure. This is brand new, starting to come out in the summer of 2022. I found her at my local store shelf yesterday, and she was surprisingly a Voyager class figure, so she retails for approximately $30. I was really surprised about that one. When I first saw this box, I thought this was going to be a deluxe, especially when you look at the size of the figure, because even though I don't have the original to compare with, the original figure was a deluxe class figure, and this looks to be about the same size as the original. So I was actually really surprised when I rang her up, and she rang up for 33 actually. So after tax, it was like $37. I paid almost $40 for this one, which I was kind of surprised. I was not expecting that. But anyway, there she is in her packaging. I love this new style packaging. We're starting to see a lot of Transformers being packed back in vehicle mode, which I absolutely adore. It takes me back to when I was a kid getting Transformers. They would come in vehicle mode, and they came in vehicle mode all the way up until something like in the last 15 years or so is really when they started changing them over and packing them in robot mode. But this takes me back, right? So I love when a Transformer comes packed in vehicle mode. As you can see, it is an open window, so you can actually reach in there and you can feel the figure. So you want to make sure that you take a peek in there and make sure that the accessories are still there. They're still tied in place. They haven't fallen off. This one looks like she's just got the one gun. You probably can't see that on camera, but it's there. Just do yourself a favor in the store. Take a peek in there, make sure the accessories haven't fallen off. You got Velocitron Speedia 500 Collection. Got some artwork of Override right there. Transformers Legacy Cybertron Universe Override. Transformers logo over here on the top. We've got a product shot of Override in her vehicle mode, and we've also got artwork of her in her vehicle mode. I love the square box with the fifth flap up here. Again, reminds me of the G1 days. This is what boxes kind of looked like back then. Really love that. And I love that Cybertron is getting some love here. We got Metroplex, and now we're getting Override. We're getting the Legacy line is giving us redos or reimaginings or updates on figures and characters from every line. And I think that's really neat. On this side of the box, we just got the same artwork, just kind of extends over to the side. Not a whole lot to look at there. Over on this side, we got that artwork of Override again. It's the same one we've got over here. It's just a little bit more close up there. And then along the back, we've got product shots of Override, both in her robot and in her vehicle mode, showing us what she's going to look like. And she's got 19 steps for transformation. So I think that about does it. There's no bio. There is no QR code for text bags, nothing like that. That's very interesting. But that's about it for the packaging. Let's get this opened up. You can see that there's like a fifth flap in here, and it's at an angle. I kind of like that. That being said, you know what? Since there's a fifth flap like that in the vehicle, or the figure is actually tied to this flap, they should take these accessories and have them on the underside of this so that they're not so easy to reach, right? But anyway, like I said, that's about it for the packaging. Let's get it opened up and check it out. Out of the package, we've got Override in her vehicle mode. We've got her weapon, which, if I am not mistaken, should plug in right here to actually complete the vehicle mode. And we've got the sheet of instructions, which was tucked away underneath that flap right there. So kind of like I was saying just a moment ago, the instructions were behind that flap. It would probably be a good idea to take their weapons and accessories and put them behind the flap as well, just so they're not so easy to get to while they're still on store shelves. And here is Override out of the package, and I love this toy. Override is such a cool character. She's got a very colorful past, or a very colorful history, because in the US Cybertron series, she was a female character. However, in the Japanese Galaxy Force, he was a male character. And the toy was very obviously a male character, even the toy that we got here in the US. So it's really cool to get a representation of Override in female form the way we got her here in the US. This is really, really neat. Unfortunately, I don't have the original toy to compare her to, but I'm sure there's plenty of pictures online that can be looked up. So here's Override in her vehicle mode. It is approximately 6 inches long. It's about 1.5 inches tall, 2 inches depending if you're going to cut hairs between, you know, the cockpit or the top of the weapon here. But she's done mostly in white with a lot of red details, and you got some black highlights here and there, here on the front bumpers and on the back wings, that kind of thing. The wheels, I didn't think I was going to like this. The wheels are done in translucent red with like a gold rim, and I actually end up liking that a lot. It looks really, really neat. Going all the way around, you can see she's got a translucent cockpit. Unlike her original toy, she doesn't have seats in there, but you're not really missing out on anything. It's not like the seats actually did anything with the original toy either. Visible head syndrome-ish. I mean, this was kind of a thing back in the Energon days and the Cybertron days. This wasn't uncommon for at least part of the head, if not the entire head, to be showing in vehicle mode for some of these characters. And you know, I'm not upset by it. It's not that egregious. It's a couple of antennas. They actually put like a panel there to hide away the face. So what you're seeing is kind of like the antennas. You know, it's the top of her head, but it's not. It's not like it's super obvious. So, you know, I really don't mind it. Again, she's very true to her original design. Checking out all the details here, molded details here on the hood. You got like some engine bits there, little I want to say like mini Batmobile engine pieces sticking out of the front there in blue. Really, really neat going all the way around. She's very sleek, very aerodynamic. You got these wings in the back here that are part of the weapon. These can actually be moved around. So if you want to move these up like that, or you want to put them at an angle, that's completely up to you. You can totally do that. And then going all the way around the back, you know, you got some more vehicle details there. You got some tail lights and that kind of thing. They're not painted in, but they're all there. Not a whole lot of robot hanging out of the bottom. You can see her fists. That, you know, I mean, obviously those are her arms, but you can't really tell that's her arms until you see the fists there. So not bad. Really, really neat. And she rolls. She just rolls so buttery smooth. You know, the way these vehicles, these Transformers that I've been finding lately, they roll super nice, and the transformations, the way they work, we're seeing a lot of new stuff with these figures, and it just feels like the engineering team over at Hasbro, they're just having a really good time putting these figures together and just coming up with their designs. Super, super awesome. Now, the weapon is removable. Like I showed earlier, it is plugged into the back right there, so you can have the vehicle like that if you wish. This is going to be the weapon. What I like to do, I do like to move the wings up at an angle like that, and you're going to reach back here and pull the guns out. And there you got yourself what's going to become her handgun. Now, I'm going to leave it off for this next bit, but you can totally leave it on during the transformation and have it completely stored away in fact, you know what? I am going to do that. I am going to put it away, because this completely works as a backpack for her in robot mode. And it's, again, not very egregious, and it kind of looks like a proton pack. So I absolutely love that. So let's get into the transformation. We're going to start right here to the cockpit. Just kind of pull up on that. It's hard to show, definitely not going to show up on camera, but there's 2 tabs on the cockpit there on the window that are going into these 2 little tabs right here. I'll show you in a moment. We're going to take the hood, we're going to split this up, and right away you can see the slots right there, and right there the little window piece was tabbed into those. I love what they did with the legs here. So we're going to take the legs and we're going to stretch these out, kind of Combiner Wars-ish style, but they actually do it better. So if you look in the back here, there's actually a tab and a clip there. So this is actually going to come all the way up and over, and it's going to clip into place. Same thing over here. Clip those into place. These are like this, so go ahead and turn them so that these knee pieces are facing forward. And check out what they did with the back here. We'll take these little tips right here, move this up, take the whole foot, bring it out, and then this whole thing is going to fold over. There's a tab there, there's a slot there. So you want to bring this up at an angle, line it up, and tab that into place right there. So again, move this red piece up and out of the way, move the foot down, and then bring this down or fold this over and get that little tab into that slot right there. And that actually does a really good job of closing up the feet, the back of the legs, no hollow spots. Check that out. Love the attention to detail that they put into this. Very, very cool. Let's move the camera up. She does get a little bit tall, at least during transformation. We can see that the fists are right there, tabbed in. So we're going to go ahead and pull these out and rotate them around like so. Let's see. Okay, so these back fenders here, these are tabbed in. So we're going to pull back on this and this. You can see that there's a little tab right there, and there are slots on the inside of that fender. So we're going to get that out. And these are on a hinge right there. You see this red piece right there? This is a hinge, so we're going to hinge these up and over. We're going to bring these up as far up as we can. And this is going to let us bring the arms all the way up, like so. And then rotate them on the wheel here. The wheel is actually the hinge point for these. So we're going to rotate these out and around like that. Make sure that these hinges are all the way out. And I absolutely love everything that's about to happen here. We're going to take this whole top half of the car here, and we're going to flip this down and over, like so. So we need to do this first. Bring this on this hinge down here. Bring these down like so. Now go ahead and flip this up and over like that. That's going to bring all of this forward. Now, there's a couple of things that need to happen here. And if it seems like I'm not sure what order to go in, it's only because I'm trying to find the best angle to show you some stuff here. You see this tab right here. If we look right in there, on the inside of the hinge is a slot. This slot actually goes all the way through, but it's kind of hard to see with that fender there. All right, so when we bring this up and over, we're going to push these red hinges in, and we want to tab them, that slot on that hinge into that tab on her side right there, okay? So let's see, before we do that, we want to bring this whole piece here, we want to bring this down, and then bring the windshield down like that. That's actually going to clip into place. Now, we're going to bring that red hinge in, like I mentioned. There's a couple more slots. So there's a slot there that's going to go. Let's see. We're going to leave that slot alone. That was for vehicle mode. This slot here at the top needs to go into this tab right here. And then there's a tab right here behind the wheel that's going to go into this slot right back there again, okay? So, yeah, again, it's only because I'm trying to show you all of these that it kind of seems like I'm not going in the right order here, only because I'm trying to show you all of that. But anyway, you get the red piece in, and then you can bring this up and tab it into both of those slots right there. And that's going to secure into place. It's really not complicated. It's just kind of one of those, I really want you to see where everything is going kind of deals. And it's just, you got to have it in hand and you got to see it for yourself. It's really, really difficult to show it on camera. But we're just missing this one tab here. Why am I missing this tab here? What's going on? As is normal, usually these figures don't give me any trouble until I get them in front of the camera. But there you go. Once you get the tabs in place, there she is. There is Override in her robot mode. And again, she looks absolutely fantastic. Here in robot mode, Override stands approximately 6.5 inches tall. So she's actually a pretty good size. I would call her, really kind of classify her more of a large deluxe than a Voyager. I was really surprised to see that she was a Voyager. I just based on my first impressions when I saw her, I thought she was going to be a deluxe. It was kind of a surprise when I rang her up and she rang up as a Voyager. It was kind of more of a surprise to me, but she is a pretty good size figure, and we'll see that here in comparisons in just a moment. So here she is in robot mode. Absolutely love that head sculpt. Again, we got that head sculpt that is doing justice to the design that we saw in Cybertron. Looking really, really cool. Very sleek looking figure. She looks like a fast character, right? She looks like somebody that can go fast, which, again, if you know her history, if you know her character, you know that she was indeed a fast character. Nobody could ever beat her on her planet. She was the fastest vehicle, the fastest racer on her planet. And then it was up to Hotshot to train, and Hotshot had to be able to beat her in a race before he was ready to move on to his next whatever task it was. It's been a while since I watched the show, but that's kind of the gist of it. So here she is again. She's all of the colors from the vehicle carry over, so she's done mostly in white with a lot of red details, and we got some black highlights. We got a little more black stuff now showing up because we got the shoulders are done in black with these gold details. The forearms are done in black with the gold details, and I love the way those gold details wrap around to the sides. Continuing to go all the way around, you're going to see, again, not a lot of hollow spots. She's a very nice, solid figure, and I love the way that weapon is still there on her back, and it's not sticking out. It's not, it's not obtrusive. It's not anything like that. It kind of looks like a proton pack, which is right up my alley. Absolutely love that. Articulation-wise, the head can go side to side. The shoulders can go forward and backwards all the way around. They can go in and out at the shoulders. You can rotate at the bicep. You can bend at the elbow, and you can turn at the wrist. You have a waist rotation. It is going to be hindered a little bit by that backpack. And by that, I don't mean the actual weapon being stuck back there, but the actual plate that the backpack sits on is going to hinder some of that waist articulation. Legs can go forward that far, back that far, in and out, rotate at the thigh, bend at the knee. Feet can go up and down, and there is a little bit of ankle tilt. Not super ankle tilt, but some ankle tilt, enough for her to do a good surfing pose. So, yeah, pretty nice range of motion. Good postable figure, dynamic looking figure. And again, I just absolutely love that they've done justice to that female design that we got here in the US. It's just so cool to get a good, a really nice updated version of this character. Very, very cool. Kind of makes me wish I had the original again. But this is actually, I think, better than the original. The original was also a springformer. So even though the original was this kind of goes back to the whole size thing. The original was a deluxe class figure that's actually just a hair bigger than this one. If they're the same size, maybe a hair bigger. That being said, she was a springformer. You push the button and most of the transformation got done. So this is actually a better figure than the original, I think. Again, the weapon, you can just put that in her hand. And yeah, I love that weapon. This reminds me of the old Target Master double barrel weapons back from the G1 days. Absolutely love that. Really neat character. I like her a lot. For a couple of size comparisons. So her wavemate is it Road Ranger? I think it's the green repaint of Grapple, which I don't have Road Ranger, but I've got Grapple. So there we go. And Grapple is a Voyager figure, so you can see right there, kind of just a little shorter than a standard Voyager figure. Now I've brought in also Trailbreaker, who's a large deluxe. If you remember, the deluxes in this line have been kind of all over the place. We've gotten some really small ones, and we've gotten some almost Voyager-sized deluxes. So I brought this one in because Trailbreaker is one of the bigger deluxe figures that we got. And you can see that Override is right in the middle there. So, yeah, the argument could be made that she could be a deluxe or she could be a Voyager. Personally, I think she should have been a deluxe. But again, that's enough about that. That's just my opinion. It's still an absolute fantastic figure. Really worth getting. One more comparison, just because I always have him around in case of emergencies, just in case my ice cream starts to melt. Here she is with G1 Optimus Prime, so you can see what the two of them look like together. So again, a very nice figure. I was looking forward to this figure, and it did not disappoint. This is an absolutely fantastic figure. It is a great update to an awesome character, and I think an improvement over the original figure. A little questionable on the price. I really wish it would have been near closer to the $20 range than the $30 range. That really being the only argument I would have against this figure aside. Fantastic figure. Really glad I picked it up. Have been having a lot of fun with her, and I think you should definitely check her out. And I think that about does it for the Transformers Legacy Velocitron Speedia 500 collection. Cybertron Universe OVERRIDE. That's a mouthful. I had to read the box to get all of that out. So yeah, OVERRIDE. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you next time.